All right, so let's talk about one of Shakespeare's wildest plays. I'm talking about Cymbeline. It's this bonkers, genre-bending, and honestly, super overlooked gem. It's got so many twists and turns, it feels like it could have been written for TV today. So how on earth do we even start to crack this thing? Well, here's a thought experiment for you. I want you to imagine, just for a second, that Shakespeare decided to write the most over-the-top season finale you've ever seen. You know the kind I mean? Secret marriages, long-lost kids, fake deaths, an evil step queen, a war with a global superpower, and it all comes crashing together in a final scene where, like, 15 shocking secrets are revealed all at once. If you can picture that, then you've pretty much got the vibe of Cymbeline. So what do you even call this beautiful mess? Well, the official term is a Shakespearean romance. But hey, don't let that name fool you. We're not talking about your typical love story here. This is a special genre Shakespeare cooked up late in his career. It's like he threw tragedy, comedy, and history into a blender and just hit puree. You're going to get disguises, you're going to get lost princes, and most importantly, you're going to get a big finale that's all about forgiveness, not revenge. Okay, so where does all this madness kick off? Like a lot of great stories, it all starts with a secret, forbidden marriage that basically lights the fuse on the whole thing. So, meet our key players. At the heart of it all, you've got Princess Imogen. She is fiercely loyal to her new husband, Posthumus. Now, he's a good dude, but he's not royalty, so his whole mission is to prove he's worthy of her. Pushing back against them, you've got King Cymbeline, her dad, who is absolutely livid she married beneath her station. And, of course, you have the queen, the classic evil stepmother, who wants Imogen out of the picture so her own son can grab the throne. You can just feel them all heading for a crash, right? And yep, that crash happens immediately. The king completely loses it and banishes Posthumus from Britain. He figures, out of sight, out of mind, the marriage will just fizzle out. But spoiler alert, all he really does is set the stage for much, much bigger problems. With our lovers now separated by an ocean, the real engine of the plot starts to rev up. This whole thing is about to shift from a family drama into this really twisted test of trust, faith, and just how easily a good thing can be broken. And this is where things go completely off the rails. Posthumus, now in exile over in Rome, is bragging to his friends about how his wife is the most loyal woman alive. But this slimy, cynical guy named Iachimo overhears him and makes this just disgusting wager. He bets Posthumus a fortune that he can go to Britain and sleep with Imogen. And Posthumus, bless his proud, arrogant heart, is so sure of his wife that he actually takes the bet. So Iachimo's plan is pretty diabolical. First, he gets to Britain, and just like Posthumus said, Imogen totally shuts him down. She's not interested. So, plan B, he cheats. He has himself hidden in a trunk and smuggled into her bedroom. While she's asleep, he creeps out, jots down notes about the room, and steals the bracelet Posthumus gave her. He takes this evidence back to Rome, spins a totally convincing lie, and completely shatters Posthumus's faith in Imogen. And now, we get the fallout. Seriously, buckle up, because that one single lie from Iachimo is like tossing a match into a fireworks factory. The second half of this play is just pure chaos. And the first domino to fall is a big one. Posthumus, our romantic hero, turns into an absolute monster. He's so consumed by rage and jealousy that he writes a letter to his servant back home with one simple, horrifying order: kill Imogen. Just like that, our hero has ordered the murder of our heroine, all based on a lie. Thankfully, the servant has a conscience and can't do it. He warns Imogen, who runs away from the court disguised as a boy named Fidel. And where does she end up? Well, in a twist that is just peak Shakespearean drama, she stumbles upon a cave in the middle of nowhere, inhabited by her own long-lost brothers, who were kidnapped when they were babies. Of course, nobody recognizes anybody. The dramatic irony is just off the charts. Oh, you think it can't get any crazier? Hold on. The queen's horrible son, Cluton, decides to dress up in Posthumus's clothes to track Imogen down and attack her, but instead he bumps into one of her brothers in the woods, insults him, picks a fight, and promptly gets his head chopped off. It's sudden, it's brutal, and it happens in the blink of an eye. And while all of this personal mayhem is going down, the political world just explodes. King Cymbeline, pushed by the queen, refuses to pay tribute to Rome. So suddenly, on top of everything else, Britain and Rome are at war. The personal and the political have officially become one giant mess. Okay, let's just take a breath. The chaos has hit its absolute peak. The big battle is over. And now we're heading into one of the most jam-packed, reveal-heavy final scenes in all of Shakespeare, where every single one of these tangled plot threads is about to get sorted out. It all comes tumbling out in this amazing cascade. First, Iachimo breaks down and confesses he lied about everything. Then Imogen reveals she's alive, and she and a super sorry Posthumus are reunited. Then the old guy from the cave reveals that, hey, these are my sons. They're the king's long-lost heirs. We even find out the evil queen is dead, and in the face of all this, King Cymbeline just forgives everybody. He makes peace with Rome, and every single loose end gets tied up in this incredible moment of grace. So you're probably asking yourself, why? Why make a plot that is so complicated, so messy, so absolutely nuts? Was Shakespeare just having a laugh? Well, turns out there is a method to all this madness. At its core, what the play is really doing is showing us two completely different worlds. You have the royal court, which is just a snake kit of deception, ambition, and corruption. It's where all the lies start. But then you have the wilderness. That's the place of honesty and purity, where Imogen finds actual kindness and where everyone's true identities are finally revealed. The only way to heal the sickness of the court is to get out into nature. And this really shows you where Shakespeare was as a writer. See, he wrote this play near the end of his career. He'd already done the great, devastating tragedies like King Lear and Macbeth. By this point, he seems way more interested in themes of healing and second chances. So the messy journey isn't a mistake, it's the entire point. The play is saying that even after the absolute worst betrayals, forgiveness and reconciliation are still on the table. Which kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about. We always praise the great tragedies for their perfect, clean, logical endings, right? But maybe there's something more true to life, something more deeply human in a story like Cymbeline, a story that suggests the road to forgiveness is never a straight line. It's chaotic, it's unbelievable, it's messy, but it is absolutely worth the journey.